Welcome back to another episode of A Year Ahead. This is one of the only shows that I'm aware of that is a time capsule show. Basically, I'm recording every episode a year from when it's released. So if you're seeing this on the day it's released, this was recorded 365 days ago. The purpose of this podcast is ultimately to be able to document my life as it happens and the sensitive relationships and things that are going on in my immediate world that I wouldn't necessarily publicly talk about at the time that they're happening, but I still want them documented for the future when people see my story and my journey and where I've come from and where I'm going. The things that I go through, the things that I feel. It's a much more personal approach to the podcast that I actually do record and release when I record it. Not another podcast. Which is more just like what I'm trying, what I'm doing in the world. This is more personal, business relationships, personal relationships, and the things that I'm thinking or feeling. And it's my attempt to document for 15 to 20 years from now when somebody needs to see somebody else go through the same things that they're going through and feel less alone in the process of building the life that they want to live. So let's get into it. I missed last week. I didn't record last week. And so we're going to be going through 2 weeks of activity today, which I'm very stoked on. I just got back from California, so there's a chance my words are going to be less than intelligible. So I hope you can forgive me for that. That's what we're going through. I'm going to be looking at my phone for those of you that are watching on YouTube. In the moments that it takes me to think, for those of you who are listening on audio, I'm looking at my phone, the calendar specifically, to recount day to day what I did and what's going on. But I just want to talk about a few things that are happening that I don't have to look at my phone for, that went off the top of my head. My ex texted me 2 days ago, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm excited, I'm happy, but I'm also very confused and frustrated. She decided she wanted to heal on her own, and then I messaged her a few weeks later and said, screw that, let's give it another shot. She actually told me she was moving out of state, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. At least that's what I thought. And then I get a text from her out of the blue a couple days ago, and it says, hey, I found another job, and I think I'm actually going to end up staying in Florida. And I've been thinking about what you said. But she doesn't want a relationship. She just wants to stay in contact. She thought that when I reached out, originally, I was thinking that we would just take it slow, be friends, talk, but not pursue anything. I don't know how that was confused, because the voice memo that I sent was pretty straightforward about, I want to give it another shot, I want to pursue you, I would love to take you out again. I don't know how that was confused with, well, I just want to talk and be respectful of the fact that you want to take things slow. But it was, regardless, and that's what she thought. And I said, no, I actually wanted to pursue you in a serious relationship. I want something committed. I wanted you. And she said that she wasn't in for that. But we've since talked twice, and she brought up, she's like, it's been just so easy to talk with you, and I don't want to throw the relationship away. I was like, okay, I agree with you. And we've talked twice since then, and both times have been incredibly easy and amazing, but just figuring out what that's like. So the relationship, because it's important to me to find something that's meaningful and to find something like that. But, you know, I think there's something there with her, but she doesn't want it yet, and it's bothering me quite a lot. So there is that. In other news, I am officially 3.5 weeks pain-free running. I have been battling a knee injury since August that has kept me from running long distances. August of 2024, that is, up to this point, which is March of 2025. And I have not been able to run long distances, or really any distance or any meaningful distance at all. And just over the last 3.5 weeks, I've put on over 25 miles on my legs and running, which normally would have put me out of commission, and I would have been writhing in bed in pain from the injury. I have felt no pain in the last 3.5 weeks, and it's truly a magical experience. I'm truly grateful and so fortunate that we're finally heading in the right direction with that, and the knee is not in pain anymore, and I could not be happier. I could not be more thrilled about it. I ran every single day with the crew that I was with in California filming, which I'll get into in a minute. And felt great then. Put on some miles here in the neighborhood. Just lots of great things happening. Really feeling, really, really good about the knee and feeling more optimistic than ever about the 2 marathons that I have to run. The first one being in April, which I'm preparing for, and the second one being in May, which is the Go One More Last Man Standing Marathon, which I am a little nervous about, honestly. It's a little concerning, but we're going in the right direction, and I think I can't do anything else except for continue to run. So that's what we're going to do. A couple jobs lately that I feel really great about, really, really good about, actually. So we went to California, and that was a great time. I got my phone here. It's been a wild 2 weeks, actually. So I had an event that I filmed for a good friend of mine and nailed out that recap, nailed out a wedding film 2 weeks ago. I felt really, really great about that. Lots of good calls, and had a shoot down in Miami, which actually, you know what, I might, come to think of it, I might have actually recorded an episode and documented all of that. So let's start from next week, or last week. Oh boy. So I had a couple sales calls in there that, I actually was pretty happy with myself. One person was on the phone with me and they were talking, and Chris Do makes content around sales, and one of his sales tactics was to, when people come at you and are like, when you ask them what their budget is, and they're like, I was hoping you would tell me. He goes, okay, well, I don't know what solution to give you if I don't know, what you're able to work with. So how about we just put a pause in this conversation, go talk with whomever you need to talk with and establish a budget, and then come back and we'll figure out a solution after. He says that most people will either figure out the budget and come back later, not do that, or they'll tell you their budget right there on the phone because they already know and they're just hoping that you'll tell them a lower number than their allocated budget. So when it comes to that, I took that advice, and on a call, I was talking to somebody about doing real estate photography. Not necessarily something that I do all the time, and there's, generally speaking, people that can do it for pretty cheap. So when they're talking to me and not just some other person they worked with, I'm a little concerned, and they probably don't have a lot of money. So we're sitting there and we're talking, and I'm like, hey, I could take care of these houses for you, but what do you guys have budgeted for these projects? And they're like, well, you'd have to talk to somebody else about that. There's somebody else that, go talk to them, but I want to know if you're available. And I was like, well, I can't commit to the job until I know what the budget is. So if you could, we can put a pause on that conversation, figure out what the budget is, and then come back and let me know by end of day, and I can get you an answer on what I can do. And they said, they came out and just told me the budget. It was $150, and I duly declined. But I felt good in that moment of I put my foot down and I said, no, let's press pause. Just let me know when you have a number and we'll talk. And I got a number out of him, which was pretty cool, actually. So it was nice. I felt really, really good about that. Then throughout the week, had some meetings and edited some other recap stuff, which was nice. Just a lot of editing, a lot of meetings. And then on Thursday, I had a long call and then a few sales calls for the artists. So I'm working to build up some artist bookings for a trip in Nashville here in 2 weeks. I'm trying to get a bunch of artists on the calendar, and I had a bunch of calls with them on Thursday. Friday, I fly to San Francisco. I'm there. Lots of amazing people, scenery, sights, terrible politics. Terrible politics. I hate that place. But California was truly, truly wonderful, and the time change as well as being behind is killing me. And then on my way home, I had a red-eye flight at 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 3 hours behind Eastern. So that was 2:30 in the morning Eastern, and I got on that flight. I slept at the airport for a little bit, woke up, got on the plane, slept on the plane, landed, went for a run, got a massage, went to my personal trainer, did a workout session, went to my parents' house for a little bit, and then came here, and I'm recording this episode right now. So I am working on a red eye's worth of sleep in a plane, and it is really, really brutal right now. But that's kind of what's going on personally. Mostly I'm in emotional turmoil about, like, my ex texting me, which is stupid. Stupid. But that said, I'm also very, very optimistic about where life is going, about where my athletic career is going with my knee being healed, and things are overall looking up. Fuck. There's lots of good things happening. So, yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for watching this episode of A Year Ahead, the only time capsule podcast out there. If you could, share this with somebody that you think needs to hear it. Somebody else that's really tired today and decided not to do the thing they said that they were going to do because they were tired, send them this video as proof that I still made this episode and did this when I was super tired and did not feel like it at all, but set up the camera and recorded the damn thing anyway. So get out there, go crush it. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week on the next episode of A Year Ahead.